Are you guys seeing this? This is, well, welcome to Mash on This from our brand new virtual set. What? I mean, not virtual. This is a real studio space. What are you talking about? This is a culture entertainment show. Gives you tomorrow's biggest news stories today. Huh? Sponsored by Alice Harder's Working Dollar. Huh? I'm your host, David Frost, who has been thoroughly power washed, also known as Dory Greenberg. On Mash on This, we give you a quick rundown of what we think is the best the internet has to offer. So be sure to tell us what you think in the comments, and we'll get to them at the end of the show. You can even comment on the new space, too. We want to hear what you think. Now let's get into it. Scaramouche, Scaramouche, will you do the news today? You know, like that song? But you know, when it comes to having an understanding of hype, the highest ranking communications manager in the country should have the tightest grasp on how to build finesse and live up to hype. Unfortunately, Anthony Scaramouche does not possess those skills. During a recent interview with CNN's Jake Tapper, the brand new White House communications director really talked up this meaty, anonymous source he had in his pocket and then quickly exposed who it was. Ooh, can you feel it? Can you feel the hype? Let's find out who it could be.
Start with something that incoming White House Communications Director Anthony Scaramouche just told me. Take a listen.
Somebody said to me yesterday, and I won't tell you who, that if the Russians actually hacked this situation and spilled out those emails, you would have never seen it. You would have never had any evidence of them, meaning that they're super confident in their deception skills and hacking. My point is, all of the information isn't on the table yet. But here's what I know about the president.
Wait, Anthony,
Let me finish.
Well, you're
right,
making a lot of assertions here. I don't know who this anonymous person is that said that if the Russians had actually done it, we wouldn't have been able to detect it. But it is the unanimous.
How about it was the president, Jake?
Okay, it's the consensus of the intelligence community.
He called me from Air Force One.
Okay, so now that we've all seen this, we now know that an anonymous source from Scaramouche could be one, an actual third-party source with actual intelligence, or two, it could be his boss making up facts about a story that he's in the center of. This is what we're working with now. Really looking forward to more of this manufactured journalism, mooch. Scaramouche. Ever since Dr. Dolittle was created, us humans have constantly wondered about a world where we could talk to animals. But thanks to Amazon, who just can't seem to stay out of the headlines these days, pet translators could be a thing in the near future. The retail giant has teamed up with futurologist William Hingham of The Next Big Thing, and he says devices that could turn woofs into words and make sense of meows could be less than 10 years away. Hingham pointed to the work being done by Kon Slobodnachikov, a professor at Northern Arizona University who has spent 30 years studying the behavior of prairie dogs. And in his research, AI software was used to analyze prairie dog calls, finding they had a sophisticated communication system that has all the aspects of language. The professor is now so convinced that other animals use similarly decipherable language that he is attempting to raise money to develop a cat and dog translation device. So, 10 years from now, when you will be literally arguing with your cat about how often you need to clean his litter box, make sure you direct your newfound anger at Amazon and all these other nerds. In the latest move to get humans to be more like robots, a vending machine company called 3 Square Market in Wisconsin wants to implant its employees with microchips. The grain of rice-sized chip would be inserted into the palm between the thumb and the forefinger, and it would use RFID, or radio frequency identification, to let employees make purchases at the office vending machines, open doors, log into computers, and use the copy machine. While the company is not making it mandatory to chip every employee, there are already 50 hapless souls who have already signed up for it. It's not entirely clear who has access to the information obtained from these RFID chips, or if they are secure from the likes of hackers or identity thieves, or if they will actually turn you into the Terminator or not. I need to know that. I'm mostly concerned for when that little chip gets really infected inside your hand, starts pussing everywhere while you're trying to photo scan your ass in the copy room. But what do you think of this weird new step toward the singularity? Let us know in the comments. This next story is even more proof that Gal Gadot is the only Wonder Woman that matters. At this weekend San Diego Comic-Con, when a little girl dressed up as Wonder Woman stood in front of Gadot, she began to cry. But ever the superhero, Gadot reached across the table, took the little girl's hand, and told her some really wonderful words of wisdom. Take a look.
How are you, brother? Nice to meet you.
How are you so much?
Thank you very much. Ben, what's your next movie, Ben?
Here we go. Come together.
Worry about this movie.
You're a warrior. That's a warrior. I see it.
Ben, what'd you think of Wonder Woman?
It's like what makes you such a warrior.
It's really, really great.
Come join the Justice League whenever you get ready, huh?
So, in case you couldn't hear Gal Gadot, she was saying, you know, everything's okay, we're friends now, we're together now, and calmed her down, told her to smile, and everything was great. And also in the video, Ezra Miller, aka The Flash, could also be heard saying, your ability to cry is what makes you such a warrior. And also, Ben Affleck was there, too. But that's pretty much all you can muster these days. Anyway, good on Gal, good on that girl, good on the internet, everybody love each other. And also, Ben Affleck shows up to places. Who knew? The best actor in the world, better known as Nick Cage, hasn't been in the public spotlight as much as I would like him to be recently, and it makes me so sad, because pretty much everything this man does is wonderful on some level. He must have finally heard the sounds of my cagey tears falling every night, though, because the universe has bestowed us peasants with a new image of the Cage Man, and it makes no goddamn sense. On Sunday, an image like a lone beacon of light among a vacuum of trending darkness emerged on the Twitter and showed Nick Cage in Kazakhstan wearing traditional Kazakhstani clothing while standing next to the country's First Lady, Sarah Nazarbayeva. He was apparently there for the 13th Eurasia International Film Festival, and because this man can't help but bring the intensity to every scene he's in, even if he's not really acting in a scene, his eyeballs raged with the screaming energy. And that specific scream we heard was, "Make me a meme, you internet fools!" And so we did. And of course, it made sense to work him into an equally awkward photo with the president and the Pope, but something's still kind of missing. I don't know. Ah, there he is, Chris Christie. Chris Christie in beachwear always livens up a meme. And also, what kind of Nick Cage Photoshop challenge would this be without the classic Cage face swap? It really makes me warm and fuzzy inside. And for the rest of you, keep those Cage and Kazakhstan memes coming. There can never be enough. The Photoshop gods are with you. Know that. There comes a time in every movie star's life when they have to do something that they aren't especially proud of. It's called selling out to brands. Only in rare instances can an actor commit to a major ad spot that involves so much brand messaging and unlikely scenarios and actually have it result in a pretty decent piece of entertainment. This is one of those rare instances, and it features Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and a very unlikely co-star. Check it out.
This one's for Earth. This one is for Earth.
Bingo. Boom. Love that one. Felt it.
Yeah, felt good. Hey Siri, read my schedule.
You have 25 appointments at 7:15,
Oh, look.
7:20.
You're on the telly.
With so many projects in the works, it seems like Dwayne Johnson can't possibly take on any more.
Well, that sounds like a challenge.
Hey, Dwayne, where we going, buddy? Dwayne, buddy.
Hey Siri, show me my life goals list.
I found 10 reminders.
Thank you very much. Hey Siri, give me a Lyft ride to LAX.
Lyft can get you a lift in 60 seconds.
Mind if I drive? I know a shortcut.
You're...
Yeah. Hey Siri, what's the temperature in Rome today?
The high temperature for today in Rome will be 80 degrees, and the low will be 59 degrees.
So, do I pay you?
It's on me. This is your new captain speaking. Looks like we have nice weather coming up for Rome, Italy, so sit back, relax.
This plane's going to Akron.
This flight's going to Rome. Hey Siri, read me my last email.
At 9:30 a.m., Visvin sent you an email about Mr. Nakamura can discuss your fashion line.
I'm out. Hey Siri, show me photos of my fashion line. Hiroka-san, what do you think?
It doesn't really matter what I think. What do you think?
Oh, I think it's showtime.
So in the rest of this movie, titled The Rock X Siri, Dominate the Day, Johnson goes on to cook, play music, hang out in outer space, and plummet back to set, all while asking Siri to assist him with things that Siri can do. And while this collaboration with Apple was supposed to give Siri some more cool points, what it actually ended up doing was make Dwayne Johnson look like a badass, while Siri went about her typical boring functions like telling him what's on his to-do list and what the weather is like. And if you ask me, it seems more like Siri needs The Rock way more than The Rock needs Siri. I feel like they kind of blew it with this one. But The Rock is great. Siri's still on the fence.